buckaroos. This your old pal Gabby Hayes, coming at you with another one of them rip-roaring Western yarns. You're darn tootin'. Yes, sirree, Bob. Oh, say, did I ever tell you about my old uncle, Jumpin Jack Hayes, huh? There was the greatest jumper the world has ever known, human or otherwise. Why, shucks, he even raised Mexican jumping beans. Yeah, and beans, he even raised cows that was jumpers. Yes, sir. Why, he had one cow who was champion jumper of the world. Well, sir, he took her to the county fair one time, and they was having a jumping race for horses, you know. Well, just for fun, my uncle entered the cow in the race. Well, anyway, first horse got up and he jumped over a fence, so it must have been 15, 20 feet high. Then the next horse got up. Well, he jumped over a wall, and this was about 30 feet high. And then it come the cow's turn. Well, sir, he looked up, and there up on top of the hill was a bunch of telegraph wires going across. This cow of my uncle's took a flying start and went clearing over the top of them wires and kept right on going, disappeared right up, went right over the moon. Yes, sir. And you know they read a story about it. Hi diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. That was his cow. Yeah. And you want to know something? The trail that cow left is right up there to this very day. They call it the Milky Way. Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, our yarn today begins about the time Curly Thompson rode into town to take over the Flying A spread. Supplies coming to the ranchers had a way of disappearing. In fact, the sheriff going for supplies mysteriously disappeared himself. Yeah.
Howdy. I'm looking for a fellow by the name of Sam Hawkins. He was supposed to meet me here.
Now, that's him over there. Hey, Flannelmouth, there's a gent here to see you.
Hey, you, come on, wake up.
Oh, go away and don't bother me. I was just having a beautiful dream about Lil.
Well, you better start dreaming about your job. I'm Curly Thompson, your new boss.
Well, that's sure tough luck, and I ain't got...
What did you say?
Oh, gee, boy, I'm sorry. I didn't expect you so soon. Yeah, sitting...
Where did you get that pinto you just brought into town?
Somebody else asked me that same question. When I find the sheriff, I'm turning the horse over to him.
Well, I don't think you'll find him. That's his horse. And unless I miss my guess, that's his pearl-handled gun you're toting.
Suppose it is. What business is that of yours?
Well, I'm going to make it my business. The sheriff is a friend of mine, and he's disappeared. His brother thinks he's dead.
Is that so?
Yeah. And I'm figuring you had something to do with it.
You can figure again, mister, because I didn't.
I won't have to, because I'm taking that gun as evidence.
Boss, you sure got what it takes.
Better follow me, stranger. I'd like to have a talk with you out of my ranch. Friend Hawkins will show you the way.
out of here, boss. Most of these men in here are hired gun hands.
That fellow who just spoke to me, is he one of that gang?
Oh, no, that's Honest Joe Moore. He's a straight shooter and a good friend of the sheriff's, too.
Well, let's follow him out to the ranch then.
How come you to buy the Flying Ace with?
I made the deal with Hank Johnson over in Morley. He said he couldn't make a go of it.
Tell you about the trouble we're having?
No, but I sure got a taste of it on my way over here. A gang of riders held me up and shot my helper and ran off with my wagons.
Yeah?
The reason I didn't hand out any information to that gin in the saloon is because his voice sounded like one of them.
They must have thought you were hauling supplies to the ranchers.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, if the ranchers can't get grain to raise or fodder for their stock or food or supplies for themselves, might be forced to sell out.
Oh, I see. What else?
Well, you'll learn soon enough. How come you're packing the sheriff's gun?
I found his horse running loose on the range. I backtracked to a place where it looked like there'd been a fight, and that's where I picked it up.
That ties in with everything. You know, the sheriff has been helping the ranchers. They gave him some money to buy supplies. But since he's been missing, they say he went south with it. He didn't. I know different. I can take you right to the place where he hid the...
All right, Joe?
He can't talk, Sam.
Maybe he wants to write. Joe. Joe. What do you make of it, boss?
I don't know. Pair of steer horns over a bar.
Yeah.
Looks like a brand.
I never saw a brand like that before.
Well, Joe Moore didn't leave much information, but the bar and horns he drew was enough for Curly to work on. Only he wasn't the only one working. No, sirree, Bob.
Gosh, I got goose pimples. You know, Haley sleeps in there with the sawed-off shotgun. Shh. You ain't gonna find anything in them horns. I feel like a burglar. You ain't gonna find nothing in those horns. Just what I thought.
Come on, let's get out of here.
What's the matter?
There's somebody out there.
Here comes Haley. We're trapped. Under the table.
I can see his feet. Get ready to make a break for it. Go ahead.
Wait a minute now, wait a minute. Boy, they almost got us, didn't they? They almost got us, did they?
Open the door. This is Marshal Dawn.
Well, Marshal, I'm sure glad you're here.
Let's have a light, Haley.
We'll keep him covered.
I just left Hatch Bolton and was going to the hotel and I heard the shot. Who is this?
That's Curly Thompson.
Oh, so you're Curly Thompson, eh? You're just the man I'm looking for. There's a warrant out for you and I was going to pick you up. I didn't think it was going to be this easy.
What's the charge, Marshal? Robbery?
No. Murder. Now get moving. I'm putting you in jail. There. That ought to hold you.
Now that you've got me safely behind bars, Marshal, how about taking off the hardware?
You said it won't do any harm.
Thanks. Just who is it that's charging me with murder?
3 citizens of this town swear they saw you kill Joe Moore.
So it's 3 now. Guess I haven't got a chance.
No, you haven't.
You're certainly a fast worker, Marshal.
Yes, sir. Catching them robbing the saloon single-handed.
That's what sort of puzzles me. They didn't seem to be after anything but a pair of steer horns that once belonged to the sheriff. They were down from the wall and taken apart.
Steer horns?
Yeah. They were hanging over the bar, Haley said. Looked like they'd been used for some sort of a cache.
Let's go over to the jail and find out what was in those horns.
That'll be a pleasure. Well, he's gone.
Are you sure you jailed him, Marshal? Got his artillery, too, eh?
Somebody let him out.
There's only one man in this town that has keys to this jail. That's Deputy Sheriff Walter Gordon.
Well, he won't be deputy long after I meet up with him.
Letting a prisoner slip through your fingers like this will make a laughing stock out of you, Marshal.
He's not getting away from me. I'll have a posse out as fast as I can get men in the saddle.
Thanks again for getting me out of that jail, Walter. I'm glad Hawkins had sense enough to tell you I was locked up.
Oh, shucks, I got brains even if I don't know much about riding horses.
I'm glad to hear that because this is one time you're going to need 'em. Don't forget to let Bolton know I'm coming through with that wagon.
I'll tell him, but I hope you know what you're doing.
The answer to that'll be in the sweet by and by.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
You'll sure need it, boss.
I reckon that deputy took a long chance freeing Curly, but it paid off. First, in giving him a chance to bring the supplies in for the ranchers. And second, it gave Curly a chance to do a little manhunting while the marshal was hunting him.
Let me hold the door open real wide so you can get a good look. And that ain't hay. We're taking that load of stuff into the ranchers. Too bad your gun hands ain't here to stop us, instead of being out on a wild goose chase.
I guess the marshal won't come back empty-handed.
Oh, I don't know about that. There's an awful gunfight going on down there. A lot of your men laying around dead, including Blaine and Craig. Now, if you're smart, you'll head for parts unknown.
Get out. Get out!
Well, I'm getting all right. But that's what you better do. Home, James, and don't spare the horses.
What you doing on my diggings? How'd you find your way in here?
I followed the trail left by that Indian drag that's leaning against the porch out there.
Oh, I only used that to bring the wood in.
You didn't happen to bring a friend of mine in on it, did you? Sheriff Tom Gordon?
Never heard of him. Don't know nothing about it.
Wait a minute, Zeke. Wait a minute. Is that you, Curly?
You're right, Sheriff.
Well, let him in, Zeke. He's a friend of mine.
Oh, well, that's different. Come on in.
Sure glad to see you, Curly.
That goes double for me, Tom. For a while, I was afraid I was going to find a grave. But when I found that piece of torn shirt in that old shack and matched it with this, I had a hunch you were still alive.
He found me after Bolton's gun hands left me for dead.
Why didn't you let your brother know you were all right, Tom?
I wanted to wait till I was strong enough to make some arrests.
Oh.
Looks like those tracks were made by an Indian drag.
So they got Joe Moore, too.
Yeah. But it was through Joe Moore I found this note and money you left in those steer horns in the saloon.
Bolton's men were trying to get it, and I hid it in the one place I thought they wouldn't find it.
According to this note, Tom, you knew that gang was after you when you headed for Morley.
I was in hopes they'd show their hand and I could pick them up. I didn't want to risk losing the settlers' money. That's why I hid it and told Moore where. They ambushed me and left me for dead.
Yeah, I was watching. I saved him.
And you were a witness.
Sure.
Did you recognize anybody?
No, they all had masks on. But I did hear him mention some fella by the name of Bolton.
We'll take care of Bolton.
I had to use some of this money, Tom, to buy a wagon load of supplies. And I just hope that Sam Hawkins gets through with it. But even if he does, it's just a drop in the bucket. Unless the ranchers get their crops in right away, it's going to be too late. They'll be finished.
You want me to deputize you, Curly?
That might be an idea, Sheriff.
Hold up your right hand.
Curly heard Owen and me talking. He knows you're in on the deal, Bolton.
So what?
He got the drop on me at Homer's old shack and said he was coming in to get you.
Did he see you two boys head for town?
No.
Good. Then we'll ambush him, same as you did the sheriff out in the hills.
Here in the street?
Certainly. Get rid of your horses and take cover. Shoot him on sight.
Well, he's a wanted man, so we'll be in clear with the marshal.
The last time I saw you, I had the sheriff's gun. This time I've got his badge. You're under arrest. Come on. If you've got any doubts about it, you're still under arrest. Here's the man you're after, Marshal.
I just found that out.
Sounds like you've seen the sheriff.
I did, and I had a long talk with him. The next time you make an arrest, Curly, you'd better wear your star.
I got a mess of prisoners for you. 4 of a kind. What do you want to do with them?
We're going to turn them over to Walt. And this time, I don't think he'll let them go.
You bet I won't. Get going.
I think this calls for a bit of refreshments. A double slug.
Double slug.
Make that a lemon soda.
Hey, that young Curly is a pretty fair shot, wasn't he, eh? Yeah. You know, he kind of reminds me of an old uncle of mine. Bullseye Hayes, he was known as. He was one of the greatest shots in the whole United States and Texas. Of course, all the Hayeses was good shots, but this feller was extra good. Well, of course, he had to be. See, that's all he done for a living. Just travel around the country giving shooting exhibitions. You know, throwing things up in the air and then shooting. He used a shotgun a lot when he done that. Well, one time they was having a contest out in California. Come my uncle's turn to shoot, and the feller threw up 15 or 20 plates, and he banged away at them like that. And just then a big windstorm come up and blowed them bullets off to one side, and they went crashing right through a great big orange grove. Well, sir, they went right on through. But right there in that orange grove, that ground was soaked up with the first orange juice the world has ever known. Yes, sir. I always wondered where it come from. Well, I reckon that's just about all for today, buckaroos. But I'll be back next week with another rip-roaring Western yarn. You're darn tootin'. Yes, sirree, Bob.